Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to a very special broadcast tonight of Rogan Radio. As you can tell, we're big diehard fans, and we're listening to this. And Todd was like, I've never heard this before in my life. Yeah. Hey, anyway, in the studio tonight, and what we're going to talk about the 8th annual Turkey Trot in Shinnston on November 24th. And we have in the studio with us Jason Talkington, and we worked with you last year. We had some great, fantastic footage last year.
Footage.
It worked out really, really nice. It was really fantastic. But let's start out with this. The Turkey Trot is eight years running. Now, how did the whole thing start?
My wife and I, we went back to 4-H camp as counselors, and they're giving out scholarships. And my cousin Marie was huge in 4-H. You know, she started out as a 9-year, and when she was 9, went all through 4-H and was successful in it at all leadership positions that you can get in 4-H. All the highest awards she got, and unfortunately, she was died in a car wreck when she was 20, and she used 4-H as what I would say a tool to advance, her leadership skills, and just was a huge supporter and believer in the program.
Right.
And so we decided, well, it'd be nice. A lot of my family still was in the 4-H program. It'd be nice to give out a scholarship in her name. So we came back and asked our family, hey, why don't you give us money, and we'll give it out in Marie's name and pay for a kid to come back to camp. Then we thought it'd be cool to do it every year, but, it gets tired of asking your family for money every year.
Sure.
My wife was in a running craze at the time, and she was running Chicago Marathon. She came back here. She ran the marathon in October and said, hey, we'll look for a turkey trot around Shinnston, and couldn't find any. So she said, well, I'll just organize it real quick on Facebook. And within 2 weeks, it was very unorganized, but just through Facebook, social media, we had 50 people come out that day. And this was in 2009. We only charged $10 and just, we're giving it away to a local kid. And then at that time, we said, why don't we look into doing this next year, but fund all that money towards giving out in Marie's name. And then from that just snowballed into setting up a business account, getting a nonprofit status, which we've finally got, through some hard work of other people. And it's just been a community effort now, and we've grown into our 8th year. And we've went from giving out 1 scholarship each year at the end of camp. Now we give out 4 full scholarships and 10 partial scholarships, but also the money is now used to make purchases for camp, so that every kid that comes to camp gets to play on different things that we've purchased through this money raised. Right. So every kid coming to camp now benefits from the regassing scholarship.
Right, and you know what the crazy and sad part about the entire thing is, when it came to the Turkey Trot, and once again this is happening. It's a 5K race.
Yeah,
it's a 5K race to let everybody know what it is, and it's in Shinnston on November 24th.
Thanksgiving morning.
Marie and I, we were buddies in high school. I mean, we were buddies, and she was always. I had a very hard time one time in school where, and we can talk about this, and this isn't the time for that. But when you're talking about how she was as far as being supportive and being, she was that with me, because I was ready to split and go to Notre Dame. I was going to leave Lincoln, and I was heading to Notre Dame. And we had a talk one day, and she goes, look, it is what it is, blah, 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 blah. And so I decided to graduate, and I stayed at Lincoln, and that's where I graduated from. And then the day that I heard, the terrible news, it was like one of those things that you can't put into words, and there's really what I'll just say it this way: what the memory of Marie is what's happening with the Turkey Trot. You know what I mean? Because that is helping kids that wouldn't normally be able to go to a school. I mean, to college. You have to go to college these days. You have to do that. And if you go to college, you have to be smart. But, it's kind of hard. It's really hard to do that these days. And you know what? That is fantastic, man.
Yeah, Marie was my cousin. She was 3 years older than me, and, she was a cooler older cousin, and I have 4 kids now. Looking back at Marie, I mean, she was president of her class. She was just a parent's dream. You want your kid to be like that. And as her younger cousin, we all looked and just laugh, and her enthusiasm was just contagious.
Right.
And we try to bring that enthusiasm to this one-day race, and the money raised, we try then to say, hey, what can we use this money for that we can then take to camp, not just give out in scholarships, which was its primary purpose, but now, like I said, we bought something called a Gaga ball court, and if you ask any of the kids that go to camp, that's where they want to be when it's playtime, and they go to this Gaga ball court. And it's like dodgeball, but they say it's Israeli dodgeball. Gaga in Israel means like hit or something like that.
Right.
You got to see it. I don't want to waste time here trying to explain it. You got to come see it eventually.
We'll do that.
Yeah, but it's fun. We bought one for both older and younger camp now. We've like a 9 square in the air game. It's played. It's very commonly played there at camp. And it's the same thing there. There's so many kids there at the end of camp. They set up this 9 square. It looks like those crop circles from where the kids have played so much.
Sure.
There's 9 squares of dead grass just from where kids have been playing in this area called 9 square. But yeah, so we try to bring that level of enthusiasm to the single morning of the turkey trot here in Shinnston. And like I said, we have I try to advertise it as like a family festival.
Sure. And
you guys saw last year we have tons of snacks, foods for everybody. There's DJ playing music. We've got a live band as Jimmy's because the route takes you past Jimmy's if you're running, so there's a live band there. We've got Santa comes for the kids, face painting. People come there, and it's cool looking around. You see all people catching up with friends that –
It was. Let me tell you something. When we went down there last year, because that was my first turkey trot. You know what I mean? Because I'm Jason. I'm going to be the first one to tell you I am not a runner, and you know what? It's hard for me to even watch it
now
on
you
TV.
Can start.
Yeah, because it's just I'm wore out. But once again, what we're talking about on November 24th, there is a turkey trot. It's a 5K race in Shinnston. If you're a runner, that's what you need to get to Shinnston on Thanksgiving, because like we were talking about earlier, this is one of these for the registration. Let's talk about registration real quick, and then we'll get back to everything that involves that, because one thing that struck me is when we were down there is it was a very festive family. It was a fantastic time because everybody's kind of powwowing around and having a good time. I mean, there's all kinds of different booths and things set up, and then everybody when they line up getting ready to go, and you were doing the gobble wobble with the kids, and we flew that drone over there, and they were so excited to do that. And then the people on the other hand, as tame as they want to be, you always have the ones. Listen, there's the most competitive things are runners. You know what? Yeah. And we had Dean stuck right out in the middle of the road. He was on the yellow line. And listen, man, there were 2 or 3 dudes, and I'll have to show you the video sometime. They did not appreciate him standing right there because they had their line picked up, and they were you know what, they were full gas, man. And next thing you know, they had this guy with a camera right in front of them.
Yeah, I've seen that. Sometimes I think those guys are gonna get hit because the news have been there before. I'm thinking, man, they're gonna get taken out.
Oh yeah, but let's talk about registration real quick.
Okay. Registration, you can easily do it online. It's at www.shinnstonturkeytrot.com. Again, shinnstonturkeytrot.com. It's a printable form. You can do it online through iMathlete. Couple clicks. Registration costs $15 if you do it before the day on the day of the race. If you come that morning, it's $20. But if you do it ahead of time, it's $15, and that includes your race. First 500 people are going to get a race bag. But if you register by October 1st, everyone's guaranteed an official race shirt.
Fantastic.
And it has our logo design on it and everything like that. And I try to tell people, with it being Black Friday the next day, everyone's saving up for Christmas.
Sure.
It's $15, and we try to make it so a family of 4 can come drop $60. You come that morning, you can get a full breakfast. There's so much food laying around, hot chocolate, bagels, bananas, all kinds of snacks. You can take snacks home with you, the race bags. I mean, you're not going to walk away empty-handed. I try to tell people it's the best Black Friday deal you're going to find. It really is.
And I tell you what's really cool about it. When you get to Shinnston, especially, and it's at the crisp November morning, you know what I mean? And you're kind of, I mean, there's no feeling like fall. Everybody loves fall. That's their favorite season, right? And being a New England guy, we were just talking about that a little while ago. You spent some time up in Boston. But when you come like in November and you can see it, you can feel the air, and then you're just, there's something about the smell of leaves. And I mean, and then you get down there, and with the race especially, and it was a fantastic experience. And I'm glad we got in contact with each other for us to be down there.
Appreciate it.
And it was neat. It was cool. So it's $15 and then $20 on the day.
Yeah.
And you can have teams. Let's talk about the teams for a second, because we're talking about getting a Rogan Radio team set up.
That's one thing we're really trying to push, our team registration, and that's very easy too. When you sign up, there's a spot online. You can say, who's your team? And say I've started a team. My kids started a team called Team Farts, and that stands for fantastic, awesome, really superstar, some kind of weird acronym.
That's nice.
So you can go on there and you can see however many teams. You can say, like, if you started a team Rogan Radio, you click and you say, okay, there's Rogan Radio, Team Farts, whatever. And you can say, I want to be on that team. Or your family starts a team. You can start where you work, you can start a team. Your family can start a team. Your club can start a team. And every year we give away what we've called the Turkey Cup. It's the same big trophy, big awkward gawky trophy.
Right.
But we put your nameplate on it, and past 2 years, this is our 4th year of that, and they also win like some other prize, some Starbucks gift cards and stuff. But the past 2 years have been Bridgeport cross country.
Oh, my goodness.
We're trying to rev that up and see if they're going to make a triple comeback here and, back-to-back-to-back wins. But we're hoping maybe someone might give them a run for the money this year.
Now, what when it comes to demographics, I mean, because you have your walkers, your power walkers, speed walkers. What do they call that? Power walkers?
It was in the Olympics. I don't know what they call it. But
so you have your runners, okay, and that's the 5Ks, because basically there's 2 courses that run through Shinnston. Yeah. You have your runners course and you have your walking course. Yeah.
Both are actually registered through USA Track and Field as official 5K, which is 3.1 miles course. And you have a runner's course, which keeps you completely on the road the whole time. You cross the new bridge, go take a right past Jimmy's to the Big Elm, then you turn around and come back. The walker's course, right before you cross the bridge, you go under the bridge, then you onto the rail trail. And that's just for keeping the streets, getting the traffic back to as normal as possible.
Sure.
We try to work with the city. They've been great, letting us use the road and everything, but we try to – we say if you can't finish the run course in under 45 minutes, we ask you to use the walking course. And you can run on the walker's course, and if you think you can walk the 5K in under 45 minutes, you can stay on the runner's course. Sure. It's just we need you off under 45 minutes, again, to just open the streets back up for normal traffic. But there's 2 courses. You can be out of shape. You can be in shape.
Listen, there's people walking their dogs and they're pushing baby strollers.
Yeah. There's a lot of baby strollers. We get a lot of that, and we've had the same guy win it every year, and he's tough to beat. But he's getting older, and the runners are getting younger. And he's last year it was the closest he came. He still had a minute lead on the guy, but it's getting close. But it's fun. It's a great ride. I mean, the runners around here, they know each other, and that's cool than I really knew about. They know their competition, but it's a friendly competition.
Sure, absolutely.
But they're out to win, and it's fun. We've got some runners that are really pushing time, and you got some people that you can tell are trying to, 4-H has 4-H, health, heart, hands, and health, heart, head, health. I might repeat, but we tell people. Right there, the turkey trot. You want to help, that's your heart. Your hands, that's you're helping out. But if you want to say, hey, I want to start trying to get in better shape, improvement, make that a start. You can Google this, Couch to 5K. It's saying if you're a couch potato and you're not in any shape whatsoever, it's a simple training program to get you able to do a 5K. And we say, hey, start that. It's 9 weeks program, very simple, very easy to follow. But it's like I said, we take runners, all ages, all capabilities. Walkers, I mean, it's the same. But last year, we've grown every year. We had just under 900 registered, and this year has always been our goal the last few years to get to 1,000.
Man, that's what I'm talking about.
We'll take 10,000 if they'll come. But
that's what I'm talking about. And once again, when it comes to running, I mean, because like a dude like me, I mean, I walk 12 miles a day, right? But that's
you
not
look like you're
running. Yeah. I could run a little bit. I could walk a little bit.
Yeah.
I could run a little bit. I could walk a little bit. There's all kinds of different things that we could do there. Now, something else, too, that I was going to ask you about when it came to, oh, my goodness, I've already forgot that. Is with it was with the Cup. This is the 4th year for the Cup, right? Bridgeport has won it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Is there, when it comes to times, are there individual times and there team times? Or how does
I should explain that. How you win it is whoever has the most people on their team. So, and you can say, hey, Grandma, I know you're never going to run, but would you please sign up for the team? Grandma can come on, sign up. If you got team members, frankly, I don't care if you got a buddy in Alaska that says, hey, I'll sign up on your team. But it's the amount of people that signed up and paid for the registration and on your team. Because, we got a lot of people that have signed up that just don't end up making it out to the day of the race for one reason or another.
Right.
A couple of years ago, it was pretty chilly, and that was our smallest actual people showed up that day. Our numbers still grew, but, so cold, wake up. I don't know if I really want to get up and run it.
Exactly.
19 degrees. So, that comes down to the biggest team, the amount of the population of your team is how that's determined. So, like I said, Bridgeport, they've grown the past 2 years, and they've dominated on the Turkey Cup.
Man, I tell you what. Now, let me ask you this question. Say I'm a dude that just does not want to run. I just don't want to run, but I want to kind of give to the cause per se. I want to donate to the cause.
Sure.
I guess I could just go ahead and register. Say if I want to give, I don't know, $100.
Yeah.
Could I get to register?
Yeah,
how do you do that?
There is a spot on as you sign on that you can give a gift as you register on the website and stuff. Or if when you send a check. So a lot of people just will still print off their registration and the address it mails to our address, and then we obviously deposit it. So you could write on there for your registration, Chuck Rogan, $100. So we know your registration fee was $15. The other was just a gift of $85.
I got you. Once again, the Turkey Trot, just because people come and go on the show like this when it's live, the Turkey Trot is November 24th, Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah,
and it's a 5K race through Shinnston, West Virginia. And last year you had close to 1,000 or pretty close?
Yeah, we were just under 900.
Oh my goodness, we got to get 1,000 this year.
Yeah, whatever it takes, man. Like I said, I'll do whatever
it keeps
takes.
growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And you could have your teams, you could have families, you could walk, you could run, you can have your kids. Let's talk about the Gobble Wobble.
Oh yeah, the Gobble Wobble is something we do firsthand. Thanks for mentioning that. And we have it up to 10 years old, and we basically break it down. And it's not a long race; it's basically like a 50 to 100-yard dash. And every kid, we say break it down, and we say go, and they take off running. And we have somebody there dressed up as a turkey that runs with them. Santa's waiting on the other end, and Santa's been there the last couple of years. So every kid gets something out of the bag from Santa. There. And they're getting last year it's pretty cool. They got some candy and some coupons to the Dairy Queen, to Skate World, local places around here for the kids. And so he's cheering them on as they come. They can go tell Santa afterwards, hey, tell Santa what you want for Christmas, Mom and Dad. If you tell it at the Turkey Trot, the parents
absolutely. It might not, as far as, because this is relatively new, 8 years old. It's going to be big, and you have a lot of. As much as people give back or by their registrations and helping the 4-H with their, because more or less the registration is helping the scholarship fund in Marie's name. Now, at the same time, you have sponsors to basically let you give thanks for people who have, come, and to enjoy the race, because runners are like bikers. We were talking to Clinton and Chrissy a few weeks ago with the Ride for Life, and they had this great thing, and because bikers love to ride in packs, they love the rides, just like runners. They love. I mean, you'll see people running all the time, but when there's a race going on, they love to do that stuff. Either just to show somebody that they have the stuff, or they just like the atmosphere of running just for their own health. You know what I mean? So, I mean, do you have any? I mean, how is it too late if you want to be a sponsor?
No, we can still take sponsorship, and you can easily contact us. That information is on the website. And I'd like to give out thanks to our sponsors. Mary's Hair Care and Fitness Center is our main sponsor again this year, and she's been that for the last 5 years. And then we take other sponsorships: gold, silver, bronze, and that's 500, 250, 100. And that's all for a sponsorship. Depending on what level, your name goes on the back of the shirt. It's on our website, and then the day of the race, we have professionally made signs thanking all of our sponsors, letting people know who helped make this race. Because really, without the sponsorship, there would be no Turkey Trot. I mean, I don't want people thinking, well, we can work and make it happen. It's not going to magically happen. You have to have finances.
Yeah, because you just can't get everything organized. I mean, I'm sure there's permits. There's like 10. I mean, there's things that you have to do that cost money. That's just the reality of stuff. And it's nice that you have sponsors that actually can kind of float that cost for you.
Yeah.
And then so most, all of it, all of the registration money can go for the cause, which is the scholarship fund in name of Marie Gaston.
Yeah, that's our goal, to get enough sponsorship. And we try to keep it in Shinnston. We really want to highlight Shinnston and the business of it, and we've gotten good support. We get outside support from other surrounding towns and cities too. But we try to get it so that all the registration fees funnel back in and that money gets to go to the scholarship. And we're all volunteer, and there's not anyone on our volunteer staff gets paid. 100% of the profits dump right into the scholarship. And we've also been able to, through a communication, 4-H is an extension of the WVU. They have a WVU Foundation. And through some contacts we have, a guy helped us set up, Brent Clark. He is, I don't know what his role is now, he used to be the extension agent here in Harrison County. He now works with WVU, and we set up a fund that we got enough money through these years, just these 8 years of the Turkey Trot. And we got enough money, so we're locked in, and we have an endowment fund through WVU. It's
fantastic.
It's through Marie's name. So if we stop doing this, which we don't want to, we want to continue doing it, but there's always a scholarship going to be given out every year in Marie's name through this WVU Foundation, because we're now an endowment. So if we stop and say, hey, we're old or we die, whatever, the scholarship's still going to be around. So.
Once again, we're talking about the Turkey Trot, November 24th, 5K race in Shinnston, West Virginia. And you can, once again, give us where you can find out more information. The big one's going to be, you could search Shinnston Turkey Trot on the Facebook.
Yeah.
And you have your own website.
Website, ShinnstonTurkeyTrot.com. And another big thing we have everybody's addresses that have signed up before. So we stalk you, we come to your door.
There you go.
Whatever.
There you go.
We will, here the next week, we're going to send out a mass mailing with the registration already. It's a trifold sheet you'll get in your mail. It's not junk mail. Please open that up. Make about 10 copies. Take it to work.
Sure.
Have your buddies sign up, and you just mail that in to us. And so we're trying to make it easy for people. Say, hey, look, we're sending it to you. Don't even worry about printing it off. We're going to do the work for you. And get it to us. And, like I said, my biggest thing is start a team. I don't care if you have 2 people. That's a team.
Sure,
two people's a team, man.
That's the whole thing. Is that what's cool about it is that you could be it's the most out of shape person on the planet, and you know what? You can still have a good time.
Yeah.
You could go and just walk the course, and just if you've never been on the rails for trails, for crying out loud, and walk through shit. If you've never done that, this is the perfect opportunity to do it. Because, you walk through going down the station or if you're running down Main Street or whatever it might be, there was a shot that we caught. It was really kind of cool where the runners are going across the bridge and the walkers are going under the bridge.
Yeah, that was cool. That was very cool.
And you know what? It's just like there's 2 different worlds going on, but the same experience at the same time. You know what I mean? And it's absolutely fantastic. Once again, this happens in Shinnston on November 24th, and it's a big 5K race. 5Ks if you're into running. And we had Ashley. I tell you what, what's the biggest race? You're a runner. I could tell.
Yeah. What do you mean the biggest race?
What's the biggest race you've ever ran in?
I ran the Chicago Marathon in 10-10-10, October 10, 2010. And there was like 37,000 people.
Oh, my goodness.
It was big. It was crowded. When they said go, it took us 20 minutes to get to the start line because we're just like cattle being herd.
Now, when they do that, say when you're in like a Boston Marathon or in Chicago or New York, how do they time? Because it's like a rally race in a sense.
The cool thing is that technology is accessible to us, and we use the same technology they have. They have a starting mat. And so even though it took me 20 minutes to get to the start line, my start time didn't start until I got to the mat.
Right.
Which is what we have here. We have a chip time company that comes out of Pennsylvania, somewhere near Pittsburgh. And everyone gets a chip, and it goes right in your shoe. And it's a souvenir chip, and you keep it. You don't have to worry about handing it back in, which some races you have to do that. You just take it home. As soon as you cross that mat, it picks you up. It says, hey, chip number 11 is Chuck Rogan. It knows you're 11, has your name, everything attached to it. And so when you go, then when you come back, you cross, it catches it again. It knows your start and stop time. And then you go on their website, you go home right away, and our guy there, he's immediately putting up how you placed and what order. He's printing out sheets. So you can come back within about 10 minutes after being back. You can see how you did.
Yeah.
Or you can go home later that day when you're home and relaxing and just say, let's see how I did. And they tell you what place you were, what you were in your age. And we also have prizes at the end of the race. And one thing I will say, I don't want people thinking, I don't want to come out there 9 o'clock. I got Thanksgiving. Family's coming over. Everybody's gone by 10:30. It's over. It's like a ghost town. So we understand things. We get people in and out. 10:30. The only ones left are people cleaning up.
Yeah, it's very efficient. It's very professional. And Todd wants to be the turkey this year on the back of the moped.
Right.
So let me ask you a question. As you're a runner, and how much do you run a week? Do you run very often?
I've laid back. I got 4 kids now. I haven't been able to run like I used to.
Not like you used to.
Yeah.
But when you're okay, let me.
But
ask
my wife just ran a 10-miler last weekend,
Did
so
she?
She's still doing the running a lot. Yeah.
Let me ask you this though: if you're going into a marathon, say, because like you said, you could have up to 30,000 people, say 10,000 people, whatever, hell, 1,000.
Yeah.
Is it better to be, because it all is on individual time, as soon as you start that mat? So here's what I'm thinking: placement, right? When you want to start, if you start in the middle, you're going to get jammed up for a while.
Yeah, that was my big mistake. I learned that. I had a buddy that was running with me. His name was it's his birthday today. His name's Pat White, not the football player, but
Happy birthday, Pat White.
Yeah, he ran it with me. And our mentality was, let's start in the back so we'll pass a lot of people and feel good about ourselves.
Sure.
Well, that was terrible because for 20 miles you're just trying to get around. So if you're fast, I'd start, and you see it here. The guys that are fast, they're in the hunt for the win.
Yeah.
They're starting the
point.
It's pretty cool. You see these guys, and they're shaking hands, and you can tell the guys that are legit because when it's freezing cold, they're still in a tank top and short shorts.
Oh yeah,
man.
listen, that's what we saw that last year. Is what with the guys on the front. They're all hey, happy and they're go lucky. But then when it's getting time, when it's time to rock and roll, at this point, game face is on, man. And then it's like watching a horse race. I mean, they're ready to rock and roll and just get out of their way.
Yeah, it's crazy because I don't realize how fast these guys are. Cause,
they're crazy fast.
I'm thinking, okay, we got a few minutes. Next thing I know, you see the guys coming. You're like, oh, here comes the first guy. Hurry, we got to get the little finishing tape thing up for them to cross. And, so they're booking it. And like I said, I could sprint. And I can't keep up with these guys. I don't know how they do it, maintain a pace like that.
What's the best time that the Turkey Trot's had for a 5K in Shinnston?
The guy that, like I said, Dave keeps winning it. I call him King David because no one can beat him.
Right.
And he's had it under 16 minutes. So he's like a 15 and change. So his average time is like 5 minutes or something.
Oh, man.
That's booking. And I think he could go faster. He needs pushed. If someone's breathing out his neck, I bet he's got enough to gear.
He's going to rock and roll.
He's got something we haven't seen yet. He just, no one's near him.
What's the? Let me ask you this: how is the? Because one thing that's kind of cool about picking the Turkey Trot is that you have people coming from because they're visiting for the holiday. You have people from out of town.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you keep track of how far?
Yeah, that's a cool thing with the website. Or with our online registration, how it works. Even when people mail it to us, they still go onto this online registration. And we put in their address and everything. So we have a competition. After the race, we have basically like door prize. We say we know who's come the farthest. We have someone like from Utah or Colorado.
Right.
And we say, okay, where's Johnny Smith? You came from Utah. And he gets a prize. We have prizes for the oldest runner, the youngest runner, things like that. So we have those things already set up ahead of time. And we just have random prizes we give out. And they're decent prizes. I mean, they're pretty cool prizes. And the 4-H is great to support that. And they make those purchases for us. But, get the main question there now. What was it?
What's the furthest away someone has ever came to Shinnston?
For the Turkey Trot, I believe it might have been like Utah.
Utah?
Yeah. But it's funny, we get a lot of people that, I'm from here, but I live out of state now. A lot of people that are from here come on, and it's like seeing a bunch of little mini reunions. People
really
catching up.
Is.
And that's Thanksgiving. You're thankful you're seeing not just family, friends, and classmates you haven't seen in a while, and you see people catching up and touching base and making new contacts again, and
it's absolutely cool. Once again, it's the Turkey Trot in Shinnston, West Virginia, 5K race. Now, not only is it a run, it's also a walk, and also the gobble wobble for your 10 and under, right? Yeah. So if you have little kids and they want to go run and then start to show their stuff, that's fantastic. And once again, we're going to go ahead with the registration. You're on Twitter. I saw that.
Yeah, we're on Twitter, Facebook. What's another?
And your website.
Yeah, our website, ShinnstonTurkeyTrot.com.
And that's where the basis. I mean, that's where most of your information.
Yeah,
as
we
far
put
as
a lot of
registration
here now, especially we're going to start hitting up social media, especially Facebook and Twitter, but posting things and we even talk a little trash on Facebook trying to get the team competition thing revved up some.
In Bridgeport, listen, if somebody from Shinnston, Derek McIntyre down at the fire department or something, needs to get some kind of a team together.
Every school's got cross country. I don't know where these other schools are.
Yeah.
Bridgeport's the only school, but my kids, their team was in second place last year. We were 2 people shy of beating Bridgeport. Team Farts would have taken the crown.
Team Farts. Can you imagine that on the cup?
And they're back this year, so they got 2. So far they got 2. So we got 2 reunions tomorrow, and 2 reunions tomorrow, so they're going to hit up all their relatives or aunts and uncles, convince them to sign up. So Bridgeport cross country, look out.
And the actual the running cross country, when I went to high school, there was no such thing.
Yeah,
the only running you did was run away from the cops. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's about it. But now it's cross country is actually like a high school sport. I mean they're running all over that and they always had like the track and field kind of stuff, or track, I guess. Yeah. But now the cross country stuff, that's kind of taken off. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. To me, that I wasn't a track athlete at all in high school, but the cross country is what I think looks. They're out there in the weather, all the elements, they got to go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess other track events are the same way too, but this looks like it's fun. They look like they're having fun with that. Yeah. I see some stuff, and I enjoy the kids I meet from 4-H camp. I see on Facebook. I see them throughout the year, and I see their sports activities, and it's cool to see a lot of the guys I know that are running cross country, and you see how they're doing, and their moms posting pictures.
Like the people that you have come in contact with through racing, through running. does it seem like it's going down to the generation, like their kids are starting to get? Is it like turning into a family thing, or do you have some family, or is it just like say it's a dad thing and they're just there to watch, or do you start to see sons and daughters and things running with them?
You see families. You see families running. I mean, it's now I'm not saying a pack of 10 families will run all at the same pace, but yeah, because we get like the Rileys here in Shinnston. Everyone knows the Rileys. They have a Team Riley, and they've come close. I can't remember how much they've had, but they have a big family team that comes out. And you see a lot of people just start their family as a team. And that's a big population of our team names come from Team Riley, Team Talkington, Team Salerno, my wife's family and stuff. So, yeah, then you get people that our first year's winners, their team was Scrambled Legs. They just come up. Oh, we also have a competition for the coolest team name. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, so you can come up with a crazy name, funny name. We've had some, I thought you said rum. Instead of run.
Right. Team Rum.
We've had some good, cool names come up, so we always look for that.
And once again, the Turkey Trot, the entire purpose of it is for scholarships in Marie Gaston's name. It's explain that once again, because once I said, people come and go on this, and they as far as the scholarship and the entire purpose of the actual Turkey Trot.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that. Because the whole reason we do it, I mean, this is a lot of work of a lot of people to put together. And if there wasn't a passion behind it, I would say, look, I'd rather be shooting basketball tonight. I don't want to sit down for an hour and look at it. So my cousin Marie was big in 4-H, and she thrived in 4-H. She was a successful product of the whole program. And unfortunately, she passed away. She was killed in a car accident when she was 20 back in 1992. And she was 3 years older than me, and my whole life, and we still question and wonder. But from that, you try to do something good with it, and we think Turkey Trot, and I believe, I won't speak for my family, but I believe that Marie would be laughing, just thinking this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Chuck, he knew her, and so we do that, and that's the drive that keeps me. And I explain to people when we ask for donations and for sponsorships, if people say no, we're totally cool with that. So I understand my passion is not going to be your passion. We're fine with that. We still pray for your business, hope it goes well, but we're grateful for those that do support it. And the scholarship is then turned around. We give to families, to kids that through other reasons, whether it be financial strains or some families have 4 kids coming to camp. In a couple of years, I'll have 4 kids coming to camp. Camp's over $200 per kid. That's for a week. That's $1,000 for your kids to go to camp.
Right.
So you're taking a hit with 4 kids going to camp. So we can just help you alleviate that by paying for 1 kid. That's great. Yeah. That's what we want to do. And now we're giving out, like I said, 10 partial scholarships in both younger and older camp each year. So we're trying to spread the wealth as best we can. And then, like I said, but we're doing things also that when kids come to camp, they leave with memories. They might not know that it came from the Marie Gaston Scholarship. Sure. We know where it came from, and it's. But
they get to experience the 4-H stuff. Where's the? I saw where somebody's trying to organize a new 4-H branch. I think in Enterprise.
Yeah, I'm not in Harrison County as much anymore. I don't have the good fortune of being in the Harrison County program as much. Jason Burnside, who's the extension agent now, he's kind enough to let me and Stacia come back, my wife Stacia, as county counselors each year. So we come back in June for a week. My 2 oldest kids get to go now because they're old enough. So there's probably about 8 to 10 clubs in Harrison County, and there's plenty near. There's got to be one near you somewhere. If any kids are listening, the parents 4-H program, I'd highly recommend it, and it's a good, well-ran program here in Harrison County. So there's clubs, and you can contact their office in Harrison County and then give you the information or who the nearest club to you might be.
Now, here's something, too, because there might be a lot of people listening that aren't really familiar with 4-H. Just, when I was, and I keep saying when I was growing up because I'm an old man now, it was like Boy Scouts and, every Cub Scouts, Webelos, it was all big. Cubs, I mean, everything was just a real big. Now it's video games.
Yeah.
And explain actually the what 4-H can do or what 4-H does.
Well, I think a lot of people have the misconception of they think cows, sows, and plows is what people say.
Right.
But they have the technology level in programs that they can take. There's a Lego robotics program that's just insane crazy. If I was a boy right now, I'd be all over that. And it's Lego robotics. I mean, you're building robots and they have competitions. So you go compete against other teams. And they'll say, okay, here's your Legos. Now build a robot that can do this, and they'll give it a task.
I think they just have one in Morgantown.
And I know Harrison County, they have a pretty strong Lego program, and they got some good leaders that do well with that and work with these kids. And the kids are into it. That's the thing. If you got good leadership, the kids are going to follow suit to that. And they see if you're enthusiastic about it, they're going to be enthusiastic about it. And that's carried on throughout the year. And then, like I said, the camp is described as someone once described to me as the Super Bowl of the 4-H year. It's the highlight of the season. Everyone, that's where you want to be. But there's games being played year-round.
Sure.
So there's all kinds of year-round activities. But like I said, camp is where we're fortunate enough that we get to come home and be part of that. And like I said, these volunteers and club leaders, they work year-round, and my wife and I get to come and bask in the glory of their hard work for the year. And we, play with the kids and make it look easy. But they do all the work.
I'll tell you what's really cool about 4-H that I've noticed is that first and foremost, it's a character builder.
Yeah.
It teaches you responsibility. It teaches you pride. It develops you.
Yeah.
And especially with the social aspect of things and how to interact with other people.
Yeah.
But what's really cool about the organization in itself is that it has adapted to incorporate things that kids are going to be interested in today. And it's incorporating, just like you said with the Lego robotics, it's incorporating all that stuff, and at the same time, it's building all this framework that for some reason, they don't really find anywhere else. And this is like one of the few organizations to where they can actually become something just from going.
Yeah, you can each year you get to pick a new project, and you can go to they do still have the farming programs and farm animals, everything from rabbits, dogs to cows and whatever. Or they have the sewing or technology, those kind of projects you can take each year. Another thing they do, though, is within the club you have your president, and they teach like the, an organized meeting. You have that. But another thing the club does typically as a club is they practice some form of civic duty throughout the year, community involvement. That's a big thing I grew up in, and my grandma was the club leader. And our club, the clubs are very community minding. And what is your civic duty? Not just what can you get from the community, what can you give back to the community, just like the whole JFK speech. But it does. To me, as grew up 10 years in it and left, but I still think my feeling of civic duty, and even this, is because, that framework was laid through 4-H. And, obviously my parents, I had good parents.
Sure.
But that they push that, you don't just go out and see what you can sponge off. What can you do? What can you give back? It doesn't matter if you're building a flower garden or repairing someone's mailbox. Do something that you can also give back. You're going to get something back, but you can
tenfold.
You can give, yeah.
Tenfold. We're talking to Jason Talkington, and once again, we want to remind you before we split out of here. Listen, hey, can you believe we've been talking for 40 minutes?
It's been fun, man.
Listen, we were supposed to be on at 7, but for some reason we messed things up.
No problem.
It's all computerized. I blame that on Todd. He's playing a director tonight, by the way. Todd Beck, he's over there. There he is. Yeah, there he is. Let me show the course again. The run course, you have to check that thing out. It's a 5K here in Shinnston, November 24th. That's Thanksgiving morning. The race starts at 9
a.m. sharp, and it's a relatively flat course, which runners like. I mean, there is a little bit of incline, the bridge and everything, but It's a relatively flat course.
And then we also have the walking trail, and then if you want to take your dog or your kids, or
and we try to deter people from bring their dogs just because of interlacing.
You don't know the socialization. They have to clean up sometimes.
But strollers, babies, bring them out. Bundle them up. It's a great time. I mean,
and it feels good. The weather feels good, and it's everything else. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And once again, let's talk about where you can check this out, register, and everything else. ShinnstonTurkeyTrot.com is probably the main focus.
That's where you can do. From there, you can find our link to do it online, or you can print your own registration form right there and just mail it in. But go ahead.
No, I can say, and then you can do that with teams or individuals.
Yeah, individual or teams. But like I said, be a captain. Start a team. I mean, find your friends, your coworkers, family. Start a team.
And this is big for Shinnston. It's a 5K race, and this thing, it was 1,000 people, close to 1,000 people last year, and it could be 1,200 this year.
Yeah, to me, there's no cap. I mean, unless the mayor says, "Hey, it's too many people, get them out of here." But hey, I mean, like if we got 10,000 people, we had a contest a couple years ago. My uncle said that he would shave his head if we got 1,000 people, and he's 70. I would love to see him. Well, he's just turned 71. If he'd shave his head, but if we got to a couple thousand people, we talked about him, me, and my son shaving our heads. A 3-generation head shave.
Oh, man.
We didn't officially make that promise this year.
That would be a picture. Once again, registration's $15 up until
you can $15 up to the night before. The day of the race is $20. So we tell people, and then also let me say this too, real quick. The 2 nights before, Tuesday and Wednesday night before the race, you can come out to Jimmy's Diner, pick up your race packet early. We highly recommend that. That way you don't have to worry. You can just come the morning up. We give you your race packet, your chip time. You get everything then. That morning you can just come. You don't have to worry about staying in line and get your stuff.
Fantastic. You
just come hang out, like I said. And it is. It's a fun morning, whether it's cold. We've had really cold mornings. We've had, mostly it's been decent November morning weather.
Sure.
And it's a good time, just hang out, catch up with people. But then you have that race, and you're out of there in no time. You're back in time for pumpkin pie and
it's
turkey.
It's great. And you can do Jimmy's, once again, that's on right outside of Shinnston on Route 19. And all the directions, all the information you need to know, basically you can find on ShinnstonTurkeyTrot.com. And any other way is just do Shinnston Turkey Trot on the Facebook, and we're going to be hitting it hard too. I mean, we had the quad stuff from last year, the drone stuff, and we're going to be talking about that. Hopefully, you'll come back, or at least we'll have you on the phone or something like that before kind of pump it up there in the next couple of weeks or so, because we're only talking. Holy moly, it's not all that far away, really. I mean, maybe. I think 2.5
on our when you first go to the website, it has a ticker. It's like 82 days or something. Down to the second, it tells you 82 days, 10 hours.
That too. I like that big turkey. Makes me hungry.
So,
because one thing I like to do, I like to run to eat turkey, then fall asleep.
You get the MSG.
And how about the Red Stalks, man?
Yeah, not bad.
That's right. Once again, we have Jason Talkington in here. Thanks for talking to us, man.
Thanks for having us. Seriously, appreciate it.
Fast 45 minutes.
It is.
And once again, Shinnston Turkey Trot, November 24th, ShinnstonTurkeyTrot.com. Check it out. If you have a team or if you want to be an individual, if you walk, if you want run, it's a 5K race. We have a walking course around Shinnston, $15 to get in up until the 23rd. You can go pick up all your packets over at Jimmy's Diner over there at the right on Route 19, right outside of Shinnston. $20 the day of if you just want to show up. If you're a runner, you know what? Come. And Derek McIntyre, get a group, beat Bridgeport. All right, hey, you've been listening to Rogan Radio. We're out of here. Have a nice Saturday evening.